Now look, I'm a Christian and I'm a heterosexual, and I'm probably one of those crazy, oh, judge not lest he be judged. Well, first, that's another discussion, and second, people are going to judge me for this, but I can relate to Luan. I'm a Christian, and as I said, I'm one of those types that gets stereotyped as the far right extremist, whatever, da 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 da. But I can assure you that I'm not like Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, whatever. In fact, I share the same sentiments about them that Luan shares about some of the people that he doesn't like. And so I can tell you that Christians are not immune to disliking anyone. Now the Bible does say we're not supposed to hate, but Christians can hate. Now, I'm not saying that it's right for Christians to hate, but it's as a pastor once put it in South Carolina, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says you have to like somebody. And believe me, there are people that I do not like. There are people, as I said, I can relate to what Luan is saying because there are people who I also, if I feel like it, I'll look on Facebook and see what they're doing. If I really feel like it, I'll look on Facebook, but sometimes I won't even want to look at their Facebook because I dislike them so much, and to associate with them at all would just be. So I can relate to what Luan said about that one guy who, was trying to talk to him and be all nice to him and stuff. And especially because of some of the psychos I have in my family, including my dad, he tried to call on Christmas and pretend to be all nice and that. I told him I didn't believe him. What was I going to say to him? Was I going to pretend to be all this good, pious, holier than thou Christian girl and smile and laugh and say, oh, what do you do? I was going to tell him straight out, which is not what you would ever expect a Christian to do. I don't believe you. And so, sometimes Christians have to be honest about the fact that, hey, we can dislike people too. We can feel like Luan. We can have those people that, even though we're not supposed to hold a grudge against them, we hold a grudge against them. And even though we're not supposed to, hope for the worst for them, sometimes we do hope for the worst for them. And just so they can feel what they've made us feel, or what we're feeling but they haven't quite sympathized with, or what they've done the opposite of in terms of when they should have been sympathizing to the best of their extent. And I've blogged about this a lot. For example, I still urge people to boycott my cousin who was a real, you can fill in the blank. I was reviewing his music. Come on, I wasn't doing anything to him. But oh no, Mr. whatever you want to call him, had to get the way he had to get. Oh, it's his music. Don't even review it. Da 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 da. And then later, he gets mad at me when I give a cousin advice that was relating to God and stuff. He got all how he got. And by the way, one of my New Year's resolutions was not to cuss, so I'm trying to watch the language, but you can fill in the blank about what my cousin is and what my cousin has been, and then also the cousin who I'm quoting, by the way, and I know I shouldn't be cussing, but the cousin who called me a fucking psycho. Boy, I'd like to reach an olive branch to her, but at the same time, it's like, why reach an olive branch to her if I'm that angry at her? And, she wouldn't accept it anyway, so. As I said, believe me, Christians have their moments where, we're not like these Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin and whatever hypocritical types you try to be like, oh, you have to be perfect all the time, and you can't be human, and you can't relate to what people are feeling. And so I just wanted to give you a few examples of, when I've had those moments like Luan has had, and from a Christian perspective, and from, for lack of a better term, heterosexual perspective. Because a lot of people say, oh, you're just mentioning that because Luan is gay. Well, yeah, I can, and as a Christian, I can tell you, I can see why a lot of people become homosexual in the first place, because they do have people who they legitimately dislike or even hate, and those people are right within the church or within a Christian context somehow in their lives, and then they do some of the stuff they do, and it's like, no wonder these people choose to be gay or say, oh, screw gay marriage, screw Christianity, screw this, screw that. And so that's part of the reason why I was bringing up the homosexuality angle on it too. And I know that, a lot of people are going to say, are you sure you're not one of those uptight, holier than thou, da 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 da? But I was just, I just wanted to clarify why I even brought up the homosexuality angle, because, as I said, people have people who they dislike or hate because of that, and because, something legitimately happened where, the person definitely deserves to be disliked. And by the way, I hope that this does help some people who are really struggling with their sexuality or have chosen to be homosexual because they have someone who they legitimately dislike who has hurt them and has affected them to choose to be homosexual. And anyway, okay, I probably ranted a little too much about that, but anyway, I think you get the point about that, and I just wanted to kind of bring that up because, as I said, there are people who hate people because, again, you get the point. Well, take care and have a good evening.